Welcome all to another episode of your favorite podcast, Targo. How the hell are you, buddy?
Doing good, man. Love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, man. I don't really want to be that enthusiastic because it's the end of all of the seasons, but we have a Champions League final coming up. How can
We
you
still
not
do
be
have a
excited?
Champions League fight to look forward to. That's right.
It's
And a UEFA Conference League final,
oh
actually.
yeah, that's today. Shoot,
Yeah.
okay. Should have led with that one because it's today. English teams in both of them. How are you gonna? I guess what are you drinking?
England versus Italy, huh?
Yeah, in both.
I am drinking Old Schoolhouse Brewery Epiphany Pale.
Ooh.
It's got a nice little description here. A medium-bodied Northwest style pale with moderate bitterness and citrusy hops.
Hops.
It's pretty good.
Good.
Does have a little bit of strong hop flavor there at the end, but
Well, I would imagine it's in the description. So.
not bad.
I today am drinking Red Hook's Lager Squatch Lager. Because why else would it not be a lager? It's called Lager Squatch. This one's not as fun, but it says Lager Squatch prowls the Pacific Northwest in search of good times and friends to share beer. So
I like Lager Squatch then.
yeah.
Share some beers with me. Come on now.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that's tasty. Nice and light. It says a beer you can believe in, and I definitely believe in this beer. It's delicious. So, let's quit squatching around. Those are our brews. Let's get to some banter. Welcome to Brews and Banter. Targo, this is a action-packed episode. We got championship weekend in La Liga and Serie A, even though it was already decided. One team wins the double, aka the FA Cup final. Got the Europa Conference League and Champions League final previews, and then our end of the season awards for La Liga and Serie A, and a bunch of news to cover. So before we get into it, make sure you check out our socials: Facebook, our Facebook group, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Redbubble. Make sure to check out our merch. All of the links are below. All right, Targo, first things first. Let's see who won the double this season. FA Cup final time.
Manchester Derby,
City,
man.
Manchester United. First Manchester Derby in the FA Cup final. We both thought City would win, and this went the way we thought. But it was much closer than I thought it would be. This one ended 2-1.
It was pretty close, wasn't it? I will say City didn't play the slickest football. Maybe credit to Man United. Maybe a few tired legs in that City team. But they got off to a flying start after 12 seconds?
12 or 13 seconds. Yeah. Ilkay Gundogan. Thank you. Yeah. Beautiful volley. It seemed like a sequence of events that was... I mean, he passed it back to Ederson, or not even Ederson. He wasn't starting.
Ortega,
that was it. And then he hits it upfield, and Haaland jumps for it. It hits off the defender behind him. Goes to...
No, so Haaland won the header, the first one.
Did he?
Yeah, and then it kind of bounces, and De Bruyne and Lindelof are going for it. Lindelof gets his head to it. And it's just not really a clearance. Just kind of got ahead to it, but that's where it fell to Gundogan, and man, he took a volley and
smashed it. De Gea
past De Gea. He didn't move. I don't know, man. No. I think he should have moved. Maybe it's a little early. Wasn't quite woken up, but you gotta be awake for the FA Cup final, man.
You gotta be ready for that. That was far out too. Like what, 20, 25 yards?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, somewhere
in
there.
It wasn't in the top corner.
It was not.
He could have at least got a hand to it, but he just stood there.
So I gotta ask you, man, who's at fault for that Ilkay Gundogan goal after 12 seconds?
I would go with the whole squad.
Lindelof's poor clearance, De Gea's not being ready,
poor marking, the whole 9 yards.
Because, yeah, Gundogan, man, he just kind of strolls straight down the middle of the park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like looks at the ball. Yeah. Oh, it's the ball. I guess I'll strike it. De Gea's like, oh, it's the ball. I guess I won't save it. And it's in the back of the net. So I would say De Gea is probably most at fault because he at least should have had an attempt at it. But you got to give it to the whole Man United squad.
Yeah. And I will say Man City dominated that first half. If there was an incident I kind of want to get your thoughts on. There was a coming together between Manuel Akanji and Casemiro. It looks like Casemiro catches Akanji pretty high. And the referee gives a foul against Akanji. What were your thoughts on that one, man?
I thought VAR should have at least had a look at it.
How is that not at least a yellow card for Casemiro?
Yeah. And not at least at the very, very minimum, not a foul by Casemiro, not Akanji.
Yeah.
That should be the bare minimum.
It should have been a foul on Casemiro for sure.
I think it could have been a red that early in the game. I would have put it. I mean, I don't want to put it up to VAR to decide that, but at least to tell the ref to have another look at it.
It was early, after 11 minutes or so. I think is when it happened, but that was a little talking point there for me. I don't get how the ref missed that.
It was suspect, and I will say Manchester City have had a lot of calls during their games that are suspect. So
this one was against them.
Yeah.
But
anyways, 27th minute, De Bruyne had a shot go just wide. But man, how good is Kevin De Bruyne with his left foot?
Oh man, he can do it with both feet.
Yeah.
Left, right, back of his heel, shin. Doesn't matter, man.
Back of his head, doesn't matter. Whatever he touches turns to gold.
He has a sweet strike on him. It doesn't matter which foot.
And it seems so effortless too.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. 30th minute though. VAR had the ref go look at a monitor for a possible handball on Jack Grealish after a Marcus Rashford cross appears to hit his hand.
I think it was Rashford.
What did you think of
Rashford or Wan-Bissaka?
One of them. The cross came in. It apparently hit Jack Grealish in the hand. What were your thoughts?
My initial thought was it wasn't a handball. What's Jack Grealish supposed to do? He was pretty close to whoever crossed it. Mm-hmm. And I guess by the letter of the law that I kind of is a handball because what they said was his hand was above his shoulder when the ball hit it. But I don't know, man. I don't know how you give a handball for that. It's tough. I mean, what do you do with it? You're kind of reaching, jumping, and your hand's just above your shoulder, and the ball hits it.
I got nothing, man. Handball rules and handball calls this season have baffled me, so I'm not even going to weigh in on it.
I mean, let's look at the handball against in that Europa League final.
We can do that.
How is that any different?
Yeah. It's not. It's not any different.
I mean, you would think the way they've been calling handballs in the champion, or in Europe in general, in those European competitions, they've been giving handballs left and right, man, for very innocuous ones.
Right? Yeah, it's England for you. I don't think the refs even know what a handball is anymore.
I think it is very much up to interpretation. It'll depend on which referee you get because, the decisions have been very inconsistent.
They have. And in this case, it was reviewed, and they called a handball. Bruno converts a penalty kick in the 33rd minute. And then during celebrations, Victor Lindelof got hit by an object from the crowd. You hate to see that. Yeah. It's got to stop. The racism, the objects being thrown. Just because you buy a ticket doesn't give you any right to essentially try to hurt a player.
I mean, that's their job. You don't hurt people for doing their job.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, Gundogan scored another volley in the 51st minute from a Kevin De Bruyne free kick. And this one was weird. It was like slow motion.
It was so slow motion, man. Like he doesn't catch this volley cleanly.
No.
It's one of those ones where it like rolls down your leg, kind of hits your knee, shin. Yeah, the slingshot. Perfect way to describe it. And it takes a couple bounces and somehow deceives De Gea. Maybe he didn't see it. I don't know. I thought he could have done better. Maybe he's expecting a defender to
I have
block
no
it.
words for that goal. No words.
It was a weird one.
Yeah. Either way, that's 11 goals in all competitions for Gundogan, and man, what a clutch player he has turned out to be. Goals late in the season
Leader
to win
too,
games, win the league, numerous seasons, and cup finals. Wouldn't be surprised if he scored again in the Champions League final. He was denied a hat trick a little while later, though, but it was offsides this time.
Yeah, I thought Holland should have done better with that shot.
I think so,
Holland
too.
has a shot, goalie saves it, Gundogan kind of pounces on it, puts it in, but flag goes up, and he was offside.
He was. I mean, Marcus Rashford and Garnacho had a couple of chances. Their finishing was poor. Closest United came to a second goal was McTominay had a shot that was blocked and looped over the crossbar, but really, not really many chances for them.
No, they did look a lot better when Garnacho came on. He added a spark, some liveliness to the game, running at defenders. But yeah, I know it's time you're talking about that looping shot. McTominay kind of has a shot, and goalkeeper, I think, saves it, and it loops up and kind of hits the top of the crossbar. Either way, I think John Stones would have been there to head it off the line, but
yeah,
kept it close. I think it was nerve-wracking at the end of this game for both teams. If you're a United fan, you're nervous. If you're a City fan, you're nervous.
Like, I hope they don't score. Yeah, either way, I mean, City dominated the game, but yeah, like you said, when Garnacho came in, it turned the tide, and United looked much better.
They did look better, but yeah, I will say Man City was disappointing. I don't want to say disappointing, but just were not up to themselves, I would say. But
yeah, almost like they never got out of second gear.
Yeah, but they still found a way to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to credit Manchester United for maybe slowing them down, but I still think those two teams are a ways away as far as quality goes.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, we know how good this City team can be when they're firing on all cylinders. And, hopefully United, for their credit, they give Garnacho much more playing time next season because he looks like a game changer for them. Next up, we go over to Germany. We had another cup final. The DFB Pokal final, RB Leipzig against Eintracht Frankfurt. This one ended 2-0. And this was the Christopher and Cuckoo show.
It was, man. Leipzig, man. Back-to-back winners.
Yeah.
DFB Pokal.
Yeah, man. At least it's not Bayern Munich, so that's all I got to say. They're not winning everything in Germany. But yeah, I mean, Nkunku scored the first goal of the game off of a weird double deflection that wrong-footed the goalie in the 71st minute. I think the goalie just got unlucky.
It was unlucky. I mean, 2 deflections. That's rough. Yeah. Rough as a goalie.
After the first goal, it was a completely different game. Leipzig dominated, putting pressure on Frankfurt the whole time. And then the second goal came when Nkunku played in Dominik Szoboszlai, who finished it nicely. And 2-0 winners. Congrats to them. And then we had the final day in La Liga. And what an exciting day it was.
It was, especially for the relegation fight, if I'm being honest. That was the most exciting.
Title was already decided. Top 4 was already decided. Relegation.
There was
always fun.
One European spot available, and then it was all relegation, man.
So, let us have it, Targo.
All right, man. La Liga. So we'll start out with Real Sociedad against Sevilla. We both picked Sociedad to win, and they did, 2-1. So Sociedad, they finish all the way up in 4th place in that last Champions League spot. And Sevilla finish in 12th, but because they're the Europa League winners, man, they get into
the Champions League.
And we kind of figured that, we're already in it. So
not going to care too much. I mean, at least they kept it a game, but I'll be honest with you, once you're in 12th and you have no chance of getting Champions League, but you won the Europa League, nothing really can get better than that for the rest of your season.
And we thought they'd have a little bit of a hangover after that game. That was a battle they had with Roma.
It was.
Brais Mendes scored the first goal for Sociedad in the 27th. Mohamed Ali Cho doubled the lead in the 73rd for Sociedad. And then Eric Lamela got one back for Sevilla in the 77th.
Yep.
And that's how it ended.
Yet another player. You leave Tottenham, you win trophies. That's all I got to say.
Our other game we featured is Villarreal against Atletico Madrid. We both picked Atletico. They've been in good form this season. They had won their last game. This one ended 2-2 in a draw. So Nicolas Jackson scored the first goal for Villarreal in 9 minutes. After he had a shot that was kind of deflected and headed, and it kind of fell to him. Like it was a shot or cross, I don't know. And he was just there at the back post to head it in. It was good position by him, I'd say.
I will say he's had a fantastic season coming kind of out of nowhere, Nico Jackson.
Yeah. And then Angel Correa, man, he scored a brace for Atletico Madrid in this game. His first goal came the 18th. And it was a well-worked set piece between him and Griezmann. Griezmann kind of pulled it back for him, and he slotted it home. And then his second goal was in the 56th minute, and it was a lovely counterattack assisted by Antoine Griezmann. Kind of puts Correa through, goes around the goalie, slots it home. So Correa with 2 goals, Griezmann with 2 assists in this game.
Oh, yeah.
But Villarreal got the leveler. Oh, but first I should mention Axel Witsel got sent off for Atletico.
Yeah, and I just want to note that I can't believe he's still playing, so.
Why not? How old is he? He's not that old, is he?
He's got to be.
No. Let me look this up. What's your guess?
Well, it's saying I'm looking at it. It's 33?
34.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
It's old. I guess when you're playing in Spain, it's not that old.
Okay.
Every other country. It's old. Anyway.
Saudi Arabia might have something to say.
Yeah, probably. It's the new China.
But Villarreal, they leveled it in second half stoppage times through Troje Pascual. It was a long ball kind of over the top, caused some issues. Things kind of got chaotic, and the ball just kind of eventually fell to him, and he buried it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you have a very open game and lots of chances.
There was lots of action in this one.
Someone's going to get that final opportunity, and it's going to be a stroke of luck. And they got it for the leveler.
But yeah, so Villarreal, they finish in 5th place.
5th place, yeah.
Atletico are in 3rd, finished 3rd. So good job for Villarreal. They'll have Europa League to look forward to.
Yeah, and Atletico finishing where pretty much everybody expected them to.
3rd.
3rd, yeah.
Our next game we had was Athletic Club against Real Madrid. And Athletic Club, they needed to win and kind of results to go elsewhere for them to get into that last UEFA Conference League spot. And the result of this game, they got a draw, which means they did not make it into that last European spot. It was 1-1. And I will say, Madrid, you got this one right. You called a draw. Good job.
Thank you. Not often, but I'll take it.
I will say Madrid did not look good, man. I watched this game. They had poor touches, poor crosses, poor finishing.
They're all depressed. Karim Benzema was leaving.
Didn't look good. The only one that looked good was Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah, well, make him look good every game.
They do. He definitely looked like their best player. He saved a PK in the 10th minute after a handball on Toni Kroos. But Atletico would score. They scored the first goal in the 49th minute through Ohan Sanset after he kind of followed up his own shot. So he shot it, Courtois saved it, and then he kind of lifted it over Courtois.
Yeah, it was a nice finish.
So that was 1-0. And then Real Madrid would get a PK after I thought it was so I don't even think it was a penalty. I wouldn't even call it soft. I did not think this was a penalty.
I didn't either. I don't know what they were seeing that I wasn't, but
I don't know. Yeah, how VR could be like, yo, look at this one, man. I was like an arm, hand, kind of in the face of Eder Militao. They were both jumping up for a header.
Yeah.
I thought it was weak.
Collusion.
I thought it was weak. Eder Militao, he goes down holding his face, but they gave it. Probably so Karim Benzema could score.
In his final game for Real Madrid.
And he did.
Yep. And then as you would expect, subbed off, standing ovation for one of the greats.
Yep. And then Marco Asensio also got subbed off. He is also leaving Real Madrid. I gave him a nice cheering as he left the field.
I mean, he's a super sub, man. Seemed like every time he got subbed on, he did something.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do have a question for you.
All right.
Where does Benzema rank in the history of Madridistas?
Well, he's their top goal scorer, I believe, isn't he?
Yep. By, I believe, quite a bit.
I mean, he's probably above Raul at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be between him and Ronaldo.
You think of all of the greats that they've had. Zidane, Ronaldo, Figo, Roberto Carlos, Puskas. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And then you got Benzema, who just casually breaks the goal-scoring record over what seemed like a century.
He was there long to 14 years. He was at Real Madrid.
I did
won every trophy possible there.
I think it was almost like 500 games he played for them.
I think he's going to be one of the top ones, man. Him, Raul, you think Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, it's nuts to think of the fact that he is up there with the greats.
And to think he played at Real Madrid, probably one of the toughest teams to play for. Like, if you don't perform, you get shipped out.
Yeah.
And he did it for 14 years. The consistency is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, he had 648 appearances for Real Madrid. That is a ton. 354 goals, 165 assists. So
he might be number one.
Yeah. I think he might. I mean, if you look at his trophies, I mean, he's got a plethora. Ballon d'Or, 5 Champions Leagues, 5 Club World Cups. Yeah. He's got.
So I guess why leave then, Real Madrid? Just wanting to go out on top, you think?
I think it probably at this point in his career, what is he, 37? 35. I mean, you get one last payday while still being able to play. To be honest with you, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He's getting it, making, what was it, like $200 million a year now?
Going to Saudi Arabia, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't blame him at all at 35 years old. He's either going to sit the bench or go start in a league where he can play as long as he wants.
But yeah, so let us know, guys. Let us know on our TikTok, Instagram. Where does Karim Benzema rank among the best Real Madrid players? I'd be curious.
I'm very curious.
But moving on to Real Madrid's rivals, Barcelona, they played Celta Vigo.
Yeah.
Celta Vigo were in that relegation fight. A win would see them safe. A draw or loss could put them in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, they got it done. They beat Barcelona 2-1.
Yeah, and good pick. You picked them to win this
did.
one.
I thought they'd be fighting for their lives. I know they got a couple good players on that team.
And Barcelona have not been playing well lately.
Nope.
Because they have nothing to play for. Yeah.
And it showed.
Great pick. Yeah, it showed.
I will say in the first half, both teams had a goal chalked off to VAR. Okay. Offsides. And then after that, Lewandowski had a shot. Just kind of kissed the post. He tried curling it, and it just kissed the outside of the post, went out. And just a few minutes after that, Gabri Vega scored a lovely goal from, honestly, an impossible angle against Ter Stegen. And that was just before halftime in the 42nd minute. And then in the second half, Gabri Veiga would get his second after, what's got to be said, it was not a shot. It was a poor cross that somehow found the back of the net. Lucky goal. Take them.
Yeah. It went in the net. That's all that matters.
Yeah, and that goal proved to be important because Ansu Fati would get his head to the end of a cross in the 79th.
Yeah, and that means...
Make it 2-1.
Celta Vigo survived the drop.
Believe it or not, it jumped them all the way up in a 13th.
Yeah.
When they started the day, they were in 17th.
Yeah, it's insane how close. I mean, 13th to 19th is 6 points. 3 points between 18th and 13th. That's nuts.
It was nuts. I was watching this game. They were showing all the different scenarios because at one point Espanyol were beating... I can't remember who they played. Who was it? Was it Almeria? And so then that would have made Valladolid safe because at that time Valladolid were drawing their game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Espanyol and Almeria 3-3. Valladolid and Getafe 0-0. Elche and Cadiz 1-1. And then Celta Vigo beat mighty Barcelona 2-1 to stay safe.
But yeah, that means Real Valladolid, one of your guys' teams, Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo's team, R9,
got relegated. Down.
And you know what? To be honest with you, watching them sometimes this season, they deserve to go down. They were bad. So
they do have a talented young right back on their team.
They do.
Ivan Fresneda.
Yeah. A rumor has it that his release clause went from 40 mil to 20 mil and maybe even less. So
Borussia Dortmund and Arsenal both looking at him.
Yep. Hovering like vultures right around the top there.
All right, so that last European spot in La Liga, it was going to come down between Osasuna Athletic Club. We said Osasuna got it because they won 2-1 against Girona. We both said they would. Your buddy who supports them can be happy. His team has European football to look forward to next year.
Yes. Congrats, Javier. They're staying up in European places.
Antti Budimir with 2 quick goals in the 52nd and 55th. And then Girona got one back through Reiners Jesus in the 75th. And yeah, fantastic result for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So that brings us to our La Liga team of the season.
Yes.
Probably going to consist of 2, maybe 3 clubs, but we'll see. Might have a
4th or 5th in there somewhere.
Yeah, might have a couple bold picks. We'll see.
Yeah.
So let me know, man. What is your team of the season?
I mean, in goal, this one is.
There's an obvious choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Marc-Andre ter Stegen, 26 clean sheets, only 17 goals conceded, and 83% save percentage. Like, the guy was a brick wall this season, which the following players will also be right there. I picked pretty much, you could have gone with anybody in Barcelona's defense, and I did. I went with all 4 of my defenders as, Barcelona defenders.
Dude, their defense was so stellar in La Liga this year. How do you not pick a Barcelona defense?
I don't know. They were head and shoulders and probably a torso.
I was going to say a torso. Else. They only conceded 20 goals.
20 goals all season. I decided to go with Jordi Alba because it's his last season with Barcelona.
Oh, feeling emotional, sentimental there, huh?
Yeah, and man, was he exciting to watch. And then you got Jules Koundé, 28 appearances, a goal, 3 assists, but 21 clean sheets.
I think he was probably their best defender.
Yes. Ronald, was it Araujo?
Arroyo?
Okay. He had 16 clean sheets, 22 appearances. almost as good. And I went with Alejandro Balde as my left back, the young stud. Was he 19?
I think so, 20,
Played
something like that.
33 games, which I think is more than any other defender at Barcelona this season. So, all right, in the midfield. Did
you have Jordi Alba as your right back then?
I did.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had to put him in there somehow. So, and then midfield. This is where I started to come up with some surprises for you.
Some surprises, huh?
I went with an all Real Sociedad midfield.
Huh.
My two center mids. I went with Mikel Moreno, who had 2 goals and 9 assists in 32 appearances. But the combination of him and Brais Mendes, who might have been like the second or third best player in La Liga this season. I mean, they were such a combo this season. The only reason why Real Sociedad got into the Champions League.
Because I think originally, didn't you have Frankie de Jong?
I had Frankie de Jong, and then I went with Danny Parejo of Villarreal. And I went with, was it Federico Valverde?
Mm-hmm.
And then I changed it. So, yeah, this was tough, but I got to give credit where credit is due. Mostly Brais Mendes. I mean, the guy, 33 appearances, 8 goals, 4 assists, but he averaged 1.4 fouls drawn and 1.3 key passes in every game this season, which is nuts for a center midfielder.
You won't get any argument from me on Brais Mendes. Maybe
all
Moreno,
right.
but not Mendes.
Right wing, I went with Rodrigo. I mean, it's hard not to pick the guy. He's on fire this season. 33 appearances, 9 goals, 8 assists. Left wing, Vinny Jr., easy choice. I mean, 10 goals, 9 assists, but the most impressive stat, and probably the reason why he's probably the most exciting player to watch in the world right now, 108 dribbles.
See, I was going to get to that. When I watched Real Madrid play Athletic Club, Thibaut Courtois was the man, and the other one was Vinny Jr., man. He's I can't speak highly enough how funny he is to watch.
So good on the ball.
Like, you think he's going, whichever way you think he's going, he's not going that way. He's going a different way.
And I swear, there's like stucco or something on his boots because that ball is like a yo-yo. It is always on his foot, and it goes wherever he wants it to. It's insane.
The only thing I wish he would stop doing is whenever he does get fouled, holding up the yellow card. He does that a little too often for me. I hate it when players do that. It's a pet peeve.
Yeah, mine too.
Let the ref do his job.
Attacking mid / false 9, Antoine Griezmann. One of the players of the season. I mean, 37 appearances. He had 15 goals and 16 assists, leading the league in assists.
Yeah, he had a fantastic
amazing season here. Back at home, full time, not on loan, play as much as he wanted. It was a beautiful season for him.
Poor guy has not won a La Liga title, though.
Yeah, it's like the Marco
He leaves
Royce.
Atletico for Barcelona, Atletico win.
Yeah.
He leaves Barcelona for Atletico, Barcelona win.
He's the Marco Royce of La Liga.
He has a World Cup, so I don't know. Probably not.
That's true. Yeah, Marco Royce is injured when Germany won.
They have a good World Cup team.
And then at striker, none other than Robert Lewandowski. Man was a man on a mission this season. 33 appearances, 23 goals, and 7 assists. Leader with a golden boot. And I almost picked Karim Benzema because he played a lot less games, but Lewandowski,
the numbers weren't there.
Yeah, not there. So Lewandowski gets my pick.
And it's not only that, man, but it was this interchange. His play with Pedri and Gavi and all those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Rafinha and whoever else was up there. Ousmane Dembele.
The like 38 players they have going forward.
Yeah. All right, man. So here's my La Liga team of the season. The defense, the goalkeeper, not too different than yours. As you mentioned, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, man. He's my goalkeeper. Fantastic year. 26 clean sheets, like you said. Guy was a brick wall.
I think the more impressive stat is 17 goals conceded in 37 matches.
I know, and in these last few games, the Xavi was subbing him off.
Yeah. It's insane.
My right back, Jules Koundé. He did play there quite a bit this season for Real Madrid. I believe he did it for France too. Or sorry, for Barcelona, yes.
Yeah, he did play right back for France as well.
And so yeah, he's a solid defender. Like I said, probably the one I would say is the best at Real Madrid. Again, Barcelona. My two center backs are from not Real Madrid, Barcelona. Andreas Christensen and Ronald Araujo.
Christensen, huh?
Yeah, I went with him, man. He was a free signing.
I know.
And he played very well for Barcelona La Liga, man. He had it through, came up with a goal and an assist, 13 clean sheets. And then to round out the Barcelona defense, Alex Balde, man.
Yeah.
Young left back. He's a stud.
He's so good.
And my midfield, so I did 3 in the midfield, a 4-3-3 formation. In the center, you mentioned him, Brais Mendes.
Dude, he's so good.
He was phenomenal this season.
Yeah.
On the right,
if like Aston Villa doesn't come try to pick him up, just saying.
A lot of teams can come pick up. A Manchester United can come pick him up.
Yeah.
So he's my central midfielder, Brais Mendes. On the right, I went with Gabri Vega, the youngster from Celta Vigo.
Yeah, he had a stellar season, man.
Kept his team up. Single-handedly beat Barcelona. He's a
stud.
35 appearances, 11 goals, and 4 assists. Not bad.
No, not at all.
And then I went with Pedri in that midfield. He's so good.
Yeah. And he's so young.
One of the best youngsters, yep. Didn't have the best stats this season, I'll admit. 6 goals, 1 assist.
Yeah,
in his 26 appearances.
Problems with injury this season. So
he did have a little bit of an injury-plagued season. As we famously know, during that World Cup, or not the World Cup, the Euros, he played
World Cup 2.
World Cup 2, but he played so many games that year for Spain, for Barca.
Yeah. I mean, he went full season with Barca, the Euros, full season with Barca, World Cup, and then the rest of the season.
So the guy's just going nonstop.
Yeah.
My front 3 on the right, I have Antoine Griezmann, because you have to have him in this team.
You have to.
And I think he kind of played on the right for France as well in this last World Cup run, if I'm not mistaken.
He plays either on the right or as kind that false 9.
Yeah.
I mean, for France, he was playing right behind Giroud. Kind of way he does for Atletico. So
on the left, same as yours, Vinny Jr. Up top, same as yours, Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah, I think most of the squad for La Liga team of the season is pretty easy. Midfield, there's tons to choose from, and that was really the hardest part.
Any honorable mentions with you?
I mean, Thibaut Courtois, Karim Benzema. I guess you could go with was it Joselu?
Joselu, yeah.
Future Real Madrid player. I mean, he had 16 goals and 2 assists, but yeah, Federico Valverde, and he probably could have said Eduardo Camavinga in there somewhere since he played literally all over the park, but that's probably what made him not be in my team of the season.
Yeah, where did he put him?
Yeah.
Eder Militao the first half?
Yeah. Probably 3/4. I kind of went downhill from there. So, yeah. Nobody really from any team but Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yeah. The odd Atletico, Sociedad, and I went with Celta Vigo.
Yeah, right. The other end of the table. So
no, 13th, remember?
It's still the bottom half of the table. All right, let's get into our La Liga end of season awards. Targo, I know we couldn't really decide on a player of the season. It was a toss-up between 3, and we chose 2.
Robert Lewandowski, man, top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, 23 goals, 7 assists. So that's 30 goal contributions and 33 appearances in La Liga. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And Antoine Griezmann, 37 appearances, 31 goal contributions. So pretty good for both players.
I don't know how you pick, man. That's tough. Maybe Griezmann. Tough. I might give Griezmann a 51%. Lewandowski 50.
Maybe it would be more like like 50.1.
That's tough.
They're both ageless wonders, and especially after the year Griezmann had last season, it's so hard not to pick him. So, best young player, your man,
Vinny Jr.
Yes, so exciting. He's got to be easily the best, and most exciting player to watch in the world right now.
That would be my vote. Yeah.
Goalkeeper of the season, easy pick, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Yeah. Manager of the year, pretty easy choice. Xavi for this one. Comeback player of the year,
Antoine Griezmann, man.
Yeah. They had, what did you say, 9 goal contributions last year?
I think it was something like that, yeah.
Something ridiculous to 31 this year. And it's huge.
I'll give you some exact numbers here. So, yeah, last year he had 7 goal contributions in La Liga in 26 appearances.
So, it's a pretty hefty swing there of, 24 goal contributions. So, it's insane. And then most improved, Targo.
Alexander Sorloth. So he's the forward for Real Sociedad.
Yeah. Took over for Alexander Isak after he left for Newcastle.
And so he had 12 goals and 3 assists this season versus last season, he had 4 goals.
Yeah. That's
big improvement.
Yeah.
Definitely helps Sociedad be where they are in a Champions League spot, along with those midfielders, David Silva, Take Kubo.
Yeah. They had a good squad, and I'm excited to see them in Champions League next season.
Me too.
Let's move on to the Serie A and their final days, plural. I don't understand it, but they played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So first off, we had the Champions League finalists Inter against Torino. We both picked Inter, and they won 1-0. Wasn't super convincing, though.
It was not. They definitely missed some golden opportunities to score, and honestly, this game could have ended in a draw.
Yeah.
Torino had chances.
Well. Yeah, goalie could have done better for the first goal, as Marcelo Brozovic, the only one in the 37th minute. It was only his 3rd goal in the Serie A.
Yeah, it was kind of a long-range effort with his left foot, weak foot, and I do think the goalie could have done better.
Edin Dzeko hit the post in the 79th minute. Antonio Sanabria missed a golden opportunity to equalize in the second half stoppage time, but Inter claimed 3rd. Torino finished 10th. And we'll see Inter in the Champions League final.
Yeah, I can tell you if they play like that in the final, they're not going to have a chance.
I mean, that's been the case. That's the story of their season, though. It's been very yin and yang.
Oh, 100%, man. Like, which Inter team you going to get? They've been so inconsistent. It's hard to pick them.
Yeah. Next up, we had Empoli against Lazio. Lazio playing to keep second place, and we both picked them to do so, and they did. 2-0. First half, all Lazio, but
it
ended 0-0 at halftime. Alessio Romagnoli scored for Lazio in the 48th minute, getting his head on a corner kick.
Center back, yeah.
Yeah, former Juventus player. And then Empoli's Nicolo Cambiaghi. Yeah, that one. In the 89th minute for a second yellow for tripping Zaccagni, who was on the counterattack. And then Luis Alberto ensured the win with a goal in the 92nd minute. And it was a beautiful strike.
I love Luis Alberto, man. I think he's a fantastic player.
Yes, 100% agree. So Lazio claimed second, Empoli 14th. They stay up. They were already safe. And then
first and second, man. Napoli and Lazio. That's wild.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have guessed that at the beginning of this season.
No. If you would have told me the top 7 were the way they were, I would have called you crazy.
I want some of what you're drinking.
Yeah. All right, on the 4th, we had Napoli against Sampdoria. We both picked Napoli because it was first against last.
It was. And Sampdoria were terrible this year.
Yeah, league leading goal scorer Victor Osimhen with PK in the 64th minute after being the one that got fouled, and he pretty much got sandwiched.
He did. He got squished there between two defenders, brought him down, and he steps up and converts the PK.
Yeah, and then Giovanni Simeone with Napoli's second in the 85th minute.
And Golazo!
Oh, what a strike it was.
From the deep.
From the deep. Yeah. I mean, it kind of summed up the game because it was all Napoli.
It was all Napoli, man.
Beginning to end.
It looked like first versus last.
Yeah, it did. It did. We were saying that, a couple weeks ago with AC Milan, like the perfect time to play Sampdoria. They're in last place, and they beat them like 5-1.
They did, yeah.
Speaking of 5-2, next up we had Atalanta against Monza. With a win, Atalanta secured a Europa League spot, and we picked them to win. They did, but it was 5-2. A lot of goals in this one. Teun Koopmeiners with the hat trick.
Koopmeiners.
Koopmeiners.
Teun Koopmeiners.
Thank you.
Dutch player.
Yes. 12th, first half stoppage time and 79th minute goals for him.
Hat trick.
Hat trick. Andrea Colpani and Andrea Petagna scored on either side of a Rasmus Højlund strike in the second half. And then Marlon was sent off in the 70th minute for Monza. And then Luis Muriel finished this goal fest in extra time. Atlanta finished 5th, Monza 11th, which I will say with the teams that Monza beat this season, it's a very successful season for them.
11th, yeah, for them. Not bad.
Atalanta, take that. I mean, with the teams below them, great season for them as well. You know, pipping Juventus,
Roma, yeah.
Fiorentina for a Europa League spot. Speaking of Juventus, they played Udinese. They had already qualified for the Europa Conference League, and they won 1-0. You picked it. I said a draw. They win. Juve with the better chances. They hit crossbar from Leonardo Bonucci header, but Federico Chiesa got the only goal in this one, 68th minute.
Yeah, it was a lovely worked goal, beautiful passing, and then he had a nice curler around the goalie. Yeah. Lovely finish.
Yeah, it was a positive finish for a rather negative season for the old lady. They finished 7th. Deducted points twice.
Yeah.
Second time was less than the first. I'm sure they're going to get in a bunch more trouble over the summer, but at least this season they can say they have European football. Udinese finished 12th. Kind of expected them to be there.
Where would Juve be with those 10 points? Third? Looks like third on goal differential.
4th on goal differential.
4th, yes.
Inter has a better goal differential.
Yes.
So yeah, they would have got the last Champions League spot over AC Milan, who played Hellas Verona. We both picked them to win. They won 3-1. King Oli putting Milan ahead with a penalty in first half stoppage time after foul on Brahim Diaz. VAR got involved. Ref went to the monitor, took a look, said it was a penalty.
And it kind of was. Guy kicked Diaz's foot. He went down.
You'd expect it to be a penalty.
Yeah, you do.
And then David Faraoni leveled the match in the 72nd minute. Sure. Before Rafa Leao had a brace. The 85th and 92nd minute. First goal, lovely run. Finished from outside the box, sliding into the corner. And the second goal, they caught Verona on the counter, dribbled around the defender and the goalie, and just tapped it in. Easy as you could be.
Yeah, that second one was lovely build-up.
It was.
Beautiful pass scene. Sets up Leao where he fakes the shot. Defender goes sliding in. And he's onto the goalie. cuts it in, and simplest of little passes
what we've come to expect from him this season. With that, Milan finishing 4th, Champions League football next season, which is quite the drop-off from their first-place finish last season, and Hellas Verona head to a relegation playoff with Spezia. Speaking of Spezia, they played AS Roma. Roma needing a victory to secure a Europa League spot. You picked a draw. I picked Spezia. Roma win this one. 2-1.
Had to show us wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, one in Rome.
Should have known the Romans in Rome, huh?
Yeah.
But Spezia put up more of a fight. Being in that relegation battle.
I would say I don't think Roma was very convincing in this game either. So I thought they were up for the taking in that. But Dimitris Nicolaou put Spezia up in the 6th minute, heading in a shot that I think was more of a cross.
Yeah.
And then Steven El Shaarawy hit the crossbar from long range, and on the 15th minute, Niklas Zaluski leveled for the host just before the half after his cross missed everyone and found the back of the net. I feel like that's a trend for this week. Crosses that turned into goals.
Well, I mean, this one was like a cross that no one touched. It just found its way into the net. Everyone missed it.
And then Spezia missed a glorious opportunity to take the lead in the 71st minute. Kelvin Amian was given his 2nd yellow in the 88th minute, giving away a penalty kick, and Paulo Dybala won the game for Roma, converting that penalty in extra time. Roma, with that win, finishes 6th, just above Juventus. Spezia in 17th, as we said, playoff with Hellas Verona. So, with that, Serie A is done. Let's get into our team of the season, Targo. Who you got for me?
All right. In Italy, goalkeeper, Ivan Provedel. I think he's the obvious choice. I honestly went from goalkeeper to goalkeeper to goalkeeper for this one. Like Magic Mike, Andre Onana, Wojciech Szczesny. Part of me even wanted to pick Memo Ochoa.
Alex Moriel for Napoli as well?
Yeah, there was another one too. I can't remember, but I ended up going with Provedel, man. He has 21 clean sheets. He had the best save percentage, 2nd least goals conceded. Yeah, goalkeeper for Lazio, man. Had to go with him.
Yeah.
My right back, I went with the right back from Napoli, Giovanni Di Lorenzo. He had 35 appearances, 3 goals, 4 assists for Napoli. Yeah. Pretty good season, I would say, for a right back.
I would say so.
Then my 2 center backs. I went with Kim Min-jae, center back for Napoli. Guy has been a stud this season.
So good this season.
Probably won't be there next season.
Nope.
But he had 35 appearances, 2 goals and 2 assists, and 16 clean sheets.
Yeah.
Big part of that Napoli winning squad, that's for sure. And then I struggled also for another center back. There's so many to pick from.
Okay ones.
That's how it was, yeah.
A little bit better than okay. Yeah.
I ended up falling on Glesson Bremer from Juve. He had 30 appearances. I think it was his goals. He had 4 goals, 1 assist, and 14 clean sheets.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
If anyone wants to let me know of a better defender I should have picked, let me know on our Facebook or Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah. I'm probably going to say the same thing. So. Spoiler alert.
And then my left back, best left back in the world, according to you, Theo Hernandez.
Yep.
How do you not pick him? He had 31 appearances, 4 goals, 3 assists. Scored a golazo this season, that one where he dribbles it up the field.
Oh, so good. So good.
Then I went with 3 in the midfield. Center midfielder is Piotr Zielinski, the Polish midfielder from Napoli.
Yeah.
He had 36 appearances, 3 goals, and 8 assists. And again, a big reason why Napoli won the Serie A. Scudetto, I believe is what it's called.
Yes, the Scudetto.
On the left of that midfield, I have Nicolo Barella. Because, I'm
right there. Yeah,
he's one of my favorite players. Yeah. He had 35 appearances, 6 goals, 6 assists. He's fun to watch, too. He has some kind of, to me anyway, funny antics on the field.
He does. He reminds me a lot of Andrea Pirlo, I will say. Not quite as good, but it reminds
Not quite as good as Pirlo, no. My other midfielder is Serge Milinkovic-Savic, the midfielder from Lazio. He had 36 appearances, 9 goals, and 8 assists.
Yeah, and I'm still baffled that he plays for Lazio.
I am too. I was going to say, I hope he almost leaves Lazio. Sorry, Lazio fans.
He's so good.
And he kind of had a dip, I think, last year. Because his transfer value went way up, and then it kind of came crashing down. And I'm sure it's up again. And then my 3 up top. I know he doesn't play on the right, but I went with Rafael Leao. Had to put him in the squad. 35 appearances, 15 goals, 8 assists. On the left, Gavica Kvaratskhelia, Kvardona. The left winger from Napoli. He had 33 appearances, 12 goals, 10 assists. And then the striker is pretty obvious. Also from Napoli, Serie A top goal scorer, Victor Osimhen. 31 appearances, 26 goals, 4 assists. Guy was a stud.
Yeah. He's far and away the best player in the Serie A this season.
Couple honorable mentions go to, I mentioned Memo Ochoa, but Luis Alberto, Stanislav Lobotka, Mike, I mentioned Magic Mike, Andre Onana. And then Ademola Lookman, man, he had a pretty good season for Atalanta.
Yeah. Getting his transfer from Everton, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. To my podge job of a team of the season. Here we go. All right. Goalie. Ivan Provedel for Lazio. You said it. 28 goals conceded, 20 clean sheets, 36 appearances. Probably the best goalie in
21 clean sheets.
Sorry. This was my stats before the last game. My bad. So I will forewarn everybody, these are the stats before the final game of the season. Right back. I went kind of in left field on this one. Stefan Posch plays for Bologna. He's on loan from Hoffenheim. He had 6 goals and 2 assists this season. Kind of came out of nowhere and has easily been Bologna's best player. Kind of a cult hero for them. Center back, Kim Min-jae. Probably the best center back in the world statistically for clean sheets. In all competitions, he's a stud this season. My other center back.
How is it compared to Jules Koundé?
In all competitions?
Oh, yeah, I don't know about all competitions.
Yeah.
In the Liga, though, man, he had 21 clean sheets, Koundé.
Mm-hmm. In all competitions, 22 for Kim Min-jae. And I don't think Barcelona kept a single clean sheet in any other competition this season. So, center back. So this is where I said hodgepodge, because there wasn't a lot of great center backs besides Kim Min-jae. So I went with Armando Iso from Monza. I just felt with the teams Monza beat this season and the way they played, they had to have one in there. He's 31 years old. He had 10 clean sheets for the team that finished 11th. Pretty good. 1 goal, 1 assist. Left back, Teo Hernandez. Best left back in the world. Center mid, I had to pick your guy too, man. Nicolo Barella. He's so good. And especially compared to other midfielders in Serie A. And my other center mid, Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. He's a stud. He's so good. I don't know how he still plays for Lazio. He's been linked to everybody under the sun. At one point, I thought he was going to sign for Manchester City, and I was like, that's game over.
I thought Man United was also linked with him.
Yeah. Chelsea. I think Newcastle were at 1 point too. Arsenal probably were at 1 point.
I think they are now, Arsenal.
Yeah. All right, so I went with a 4-4-2. Just to let everybody know. Left mid, I went with Cavardona because he is my favorite player to watch in Serie A this season. Also came out of nowhere and
more than Leao.
Might be my signing of the season. I love a good underdog, man, and he's fun to watch. But on my right wing, like you, I couldn't keep him out of my team, so it doesn't matter if he's out of position. He still would do just as good. Rafa Leao. And then my two up top, yes, I did pick Victor Osimhen, but my other one was Lautaro Martinez.
Not Lukaku?
No. Lautaro was second in goal scoring, 21 goals, had 6 assists in 37 appearances. If Lukaku's stats were better, I might have, but they are not. And also played on the bench most games. So, and when he started, 9 times, well, about 5 times out of 10 they lost. So, yeah. Honorable mentions: Armand Loriente for Sassuolo, and then
Berardi also for Sassuolo.
Yeah, Berardi was a great one. Because no one mentioned anyone from Roma. Chris Smalling, Luca Pellegrini, both had stellar seasons. Gabriel Strefeza for Lecce had a great season. Fukayo Tomori, Adrian Rabiot, Sandro Tonali, and Wojciech Szczesny to round out my honorable mentions. So Targo. Serie A end of season awards. Take it away.
Best player, I think, is pretty obvious in Serie A. The Nigerian goal scorer, Victor Osimhen.
Goal machine.
Easy pick.
Like it.
Easy pick, yeah.
Easy pick.
Best young player, your favorite player to watch, Cavardona, Kavicha Kvaratskhelia. Youngster from Georgia. Goalkeeper of the season.
My favorite player to watch in Serie A.
In Serie A, sorry. Yes. Serie A. Our goalkeeper of the season, we both picked him. Ivan Provedel, goalkeeper from Lazio.
Yeah.
Manager of the year, another easy pick, Luciano Spalletti.
Going out on top.
Going out on top. Manager for Napoli, former manager for Napoli. Comeback of the year, Stanislav Lobotka.
Yeah, man.
Guy was a stud in midfield, man. Yeah. He was a pit bull in there, too. Mm-hmm. He would not be afraid to get in some tackles. He was fun to watch. I remember watching him specifically in their Champions League games.
Oh, God, so good. I thought at this point we would be saying Amrabat, but he did not do as well as he did at the World Cup.
No. And our most improved player in Serie A, Boulaye Dia.
Yeah, third in scoring this season. Out of nowhere.
Compared to last year, he played in La Liga in Villarreal. So for Salernitana is where he plays. In 33 appearances, he had 16 goals, 6 assists. Versus last year for Villarreal, he had 25 appearances, 5 goals, and 5 assists.
Yeah, I would say, especially for a Salernitana side that finished 15th. It's much different than playing on a Villarreal side that's generally pretty good.
Honestly, they could have been in that relegation fight if not for some of his goals.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, Targo, let's get into the fun stuff. We got our Europa Conference League preview on the 7th, which is today. We have Fiorentina against West Ham United at Fortuna Arena in Prague. Each team looking for their second European trophy, having won the European Cup Winners' Cup. Who you got?
I said my thoughts in a TikTok a while ago when the finals were set. I'm going West Ham.
I think it's a solid pick. I think West Ham have too much, especially in the midfield for Fiorentina. Probably too much going forward as well. I think West Ham wins 2-1.
I would probably say that's a good score line.
I did not share my thoughts on a TikTok.
Yeah, I think they are much better in that midfield. Lucas Paqueta going forward, and Declan Rice, Jared Bowen going forward. Mikel Antonio has 6 goals in the UEFA Conference League.
But don't look too far past Fiorentina. I mean, Arthur Cabral is their top goal scorer in Serie A with 8 goals, and he's the top Conference League goal scorer with 7. And Luka Jovic is not right far behind with 6 as well. So they definitely have firepower.
This one was hard to pick. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this one was a tough one because I watched Fiorentina this past weekend. I wanted to see how they were gonna play, especially playing West Ham here coming up, and they didn't disappoint. They're a good team. This will not be. I don't think it'll be a blowout by any means, but I think West Ham just have the edge.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, on paper, West Ham probably have the better team. But we also got to remember West Ham didn't play very well this season.
No.
So.
No, they didn't.
Depends which West Ham team we get. And then next, on to the big one. The one everybody's been waiting for all season. I personally almost prefer this to World Cup final. Not going to lie. The Champions League final. When the music hits, you get goosebumps every time. This one
maybe if it was your country in the World Cup, you might think otherwise.
Yeah, that's true. If I didn't live in the United States, I would think otherwise. This one, Manchester City against Inter Milan at Ataturk Olympic Stadium in Istanbul. City are attempting to win their first ever Champions League title, first European trophy, and first ever treble. Inter, meanwhile, playing for their 4th European title and 2nd Champions League, first since they won the treble in 2010. Can they be treble killers, Targo?
It's going to be tough, man. Again, I watched them play this weekend. If they play that way against Man City, I don't think they do. But at the same time, Man City this is going to be a new opponent. If they played like they did against Manchester United, things could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Inter love to play on the counter. So
I think they will be okay. We'll set up I'm guessing a 3-5-2. They might go kind of formation.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, okay, break us down. And City might find it difficult. This is a staunch Italian team, man. You know how they like to defend.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about winning pretty. They'll take their chances with their 2
win
up
is
top.
A win. Doesn't matter.
Yep, they'll take their chances with their 2 up top with either Lukaku, Martinez, or Dzeko.
Who do you think starts in this one?
I don't know. Lautaro Martinez starts. And so for me, it's between Dzeko and Romelu Lukaku. And Edin Dzeko's been starting the European games, seems like. But I don't know. I'd almost want to start Lukaku. Or maybe you save him on the bench, bring him on partway through the second half. Legs are a little bit more tired. He can kind of throw some of that muscle around. I don't know.
I was just gonna harp on that too, is what you just said. I would leave him on the bench because watching the way that City has played the last 3 weeks, they look tired everywhere. You get bruising Lukaku coming on in the second half when they're tired. He caused some problems. Then again, do you want to take the lead early? Or do you want to be playing from behind and have City get some momentum? That's always the question.
If Inter are playing from behind, if City get an early goal, that could spell even more trouble for Inter, because then it'll force them to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when City can...
They will expose
pick them apart.
Left, right, and center. Yeah. Yeah, and Inter have to be more clinical with their chances. They were not this weekend, and we know from watching City all season, they only need 1 or 2 chances to win the game. 2-0.
Yeah, and not every player on that City team has to be playing good. I mean, you have so much talent.
Only need 1. Yeah, Haaland,
look at this FA Cup final. I mean,
De
Bruyne didn't really have the best game. Haaland didn't have the best game. Grealish didn't stand out. But guess who did? Ilkay Gundogan.
Yep. Mr.
Scores
Clutch
2
himself.
goals. He wins Man City the FA Cup.
Yeah. So you looking past City in this one?
I'm going Man City, man. I think they get the treble.
I hate to say it, and it hurts my soul. I think City is going to win this one 3-1. Not even really that close. I think Inter get a garbage time goal, and City run all over them. Or Inter gets a goal early, and then City run over them. It'd be either end of the game.
We'll see. Their last couple of away matches away from the Etihad in Europe were draws. Remember, against Real Madrid, against Bayern Munich.
Yeah. But they also beat Real Madrid handily.
That was at the Etihad, though.
But Inter's not playing at the San Siro either. This will be an away game for both teams. Well, I guess mostly for City because their fan base is awful. And Inter has a massive fan base. So I would assume the traveling support would favor Inter, but who knows? So, okay. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to win? Do Inter even stand a chance? Or is City essentially destined to win the treble? Let us know. All right. Last up, we got some news. Targo. We're going to go through it fast because I know everyone's been listening for a very long time. Shall we start with the one, the only, the person who can only be referenced in third person?
Yeah, start with him.
Yeah. So Zlatan Ibrahimovic retired, decided to leave AC Milan, 41 years old. He's been injured all season, 24 years as a professional footballer. He's got to rank up there with the greats of all time.
Yeah, definitely is. He was definitely known for scoring a wonder goal, that's for sure. And the guy scored some magnificent goals I can think of for Sweden, for LA Galaxy, for Juve, for Barca, for Milan. All kinds of teams.
Manchester United.
For Man United, yep. Forgot
Did we say Inter? AC Milan?
For Inter, yeah.
Yeah, man, he's so good. And I
Ajax,
take that back.
Ajax too.
Ajax too, yes. And I take that back. I'm going to quote Sergio Ramos, and Zlatan didn't retire from football. Football retired from Zlatan.
Yeah.
Great quote. The only way it can be.
Fantastic player. Wish him the best.
So good. So good. And what a persona he is. They had to copy him for TV shows. So, Ted Lasso. All right. Moving on to Liga. Messi was booed off the field for his final game for PSG as they lost 3-2 to Clermont Foot. What? 1, have you seen his stats this season? They're insane. How do you boo him off the field? 2, how do you lose to Clermont Foot? And 3, how do you still win the league title after how crappy they've been this season? Because they did. They won the title by 1 point over Lyon.
1 point, though. And you remember, I think Messi scored a last gasp winner, equalizing goal free kick. Second half stoppage time. So
week or two ago?
That wasn't a week or two ago. I think it was a while ago, but.
Well, he scored quite a few of them.
Still. Could say that goal won him the title.
Could.
So where's he going, though?
I've heard rumors of 2 places. One being the MLS for Inter Miami, and the other one going to Saudi Arabia.
Not back to Barca?
Nah, I mean, it could be if they can get him on loan from Inter Miami. I don't think if he goes to Saudi Arabia that he will go anywhere after that. So
I hope he goes to Barcelona, if I'm being honest.
I'll be honest with you, what Xavi is doing at Barcelona, as much as I would love to see Messi back there and in a Barcelona jersey, I don't want him to go there because that project he's got going, Messi is only going to mess it up.
And yeah, I was going to say, where does he play?
No, you want to continue building a project, and you could sign other players rather than sign him because the new La Liga rules, you have to pay him at least $25 million a year.
Yeah, and they'll have to get rid of, Rafinha, Frank Kessie, someone,
quite a few,
Ansu Fati, whoever they decide.
And you don't want to if you're Xavi, so I don't think it's a good idea. But Christophe Galtier was fired after the match, and PSG have open talks with Julian Nagelsmann. And they also have agreed to sign Marco Asensio on a free per Fabrizio Romano. So Messi out, Marco Asensio in.
Does he play?
Yeah.
He starts for PSG?
So. Probably.
I don't think he does.
I don't know. I don't really care about PSG anymore. I'll be honest with you. I'm over it. Speaking of over it, Tottenham Hotspur have announced a new manager.
Great segue.
They have hired Celtic boss Anga Postecoglou as their new full-time manager after he just won the domestic treble with Celtic. So he already has more trophies this year than Tottenham does, period.
Won an Asian Cup with Australia, the J League with Yokohama F. Morinos. So guys won titles wherever he's gone, or trophies. Yeah. Let's see what he can do with Spurs.
But he's never coached in the Premier League, so we'll see.
His first job is going to be trying to keep Harry Kane.
Who are now rumored to try to sign Harry Maguire to keep Harry Kane happy. See how that works out for you. And then last but not least, probably the coolest and wildest final day in all of sports. It was wild. The Belgian Pro League title, literally, they do a playoff system where every team the top 4 teams play each other twice, and whoever has the most points after that wins the title. So the 4 teams were Antwerp, Union Saint-Gilloise, Genk, and Club Brugge. So do you want to kind of explain how the title changed 3 times in 5 minutes?
Yeah, so goals just went flying in, man, for all these teams. One team was up, the next team was up. They were all very close. So Antwerp had 46 points. Union Saint-Gilloise also had 46 points. Genk had 45, and Club Brugge had, they were in the running in third, or in fourth with 33 points. So they weren't quite in it, but it changed hands between these clubs so many times. And in the end, Antwerp drew 2-2 with Genk to win the league in stunning fashion, while Union Saint-Gilloise won 3-1 to Club Brugge.
Lost.
They lost to Club Brugge.
Because they went up 1-0, and they had the title, and then Genk went up against Antwerp, and then Antwerp tied it, and then Genk went up again, and it seemed like they were going to win it, and then Antwerp scored, and then they won the title for the first time.
And Union Saint-Gilloise lost.
And Union Saint-Gilloise lost, and I believe it was a man named Vertonghen.
Nope. Close. No, different
Toby
Belgian.
Alderweireld. That was it. Other Tottenham center back that left to win a trophy. But it's his hometown club, and it's fun to see that. He won the title for him, and he's going to be a legend there forever. It's their first title in, I think, like 50 years or something like that. Something crazy.
Fantastic for them. But yeah, what a wild, wild end.
And what a way to end the show.
That's right. That brings us to the end, guys. We thank you guys so much. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you so much. Make sure to check out our Facebook group. Get in on the conversation. Let us know if there's any questions you'd like us to answer. Definitely want to hear from you guys. Make sure to check out TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and of course the Redbubble. Check out the merch. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
And as always, cheers.